Why hello there and welcome back to Roll for Funding. The first week of Zine month 2025 just wrapped up, and as I do, I am now going to look at a group of projects from that first week and tell you about them because I think they're neat. That's the format of these videos, which also makes the intros really repetitive, so I just kind of get weird with them sometimes. So let's get into it and start with not just the most important Zine Month project this year, but the most important crowdfunding project of 2025. The Goblin Guide to Advanced Dice Rolling. An introductory guide to dice math and mechanics so simple even a goblin can understand. So if you require a deeper understanding of how numbers react when you put them on colorful polyhedra, or how your favorite games translate random numbers into meaningful outcomes, The Goblin Guide to Advanced Dice Rolling is the book for you. And you can just pause the video right now to go back that one, and I'll be right here when you're done. Okay, you did that? Alright, so next up we have Development Hell, a storyboarding ttrpg. And fun fact, this project is from Japan, which is why it's TRPG and not TTRPG. Despite the fact that the term there is table talk role-playing game instead of tabletop role-playing game here in the West. So, arguably, both initialisms have the wrong number of T's. Anyway, this is a game about trying to produce a film in the face of rampant studio interference. And as I have said numerous times, I just really like games that focus on something that not a lot of games focus on, such as the wacky and frustrating experience of trying to craft a piece of cinema and hold true to your artistic vision in an industry that really doesn't like it when you try to do that. And I also like games that encourage a level of creativity beyond just occasionally playing out your little guy when the GM says that you have to. And this one asks you to outline an entire movie largely through storyboarding, which in itself sounds like a fun exercise, but then we take that and put it inside the framework of a game. And next up... Oh, sorry, I dropped my pen. Just a second. Sock Puppets, a game focusing on the relationships and dark secret personal agendas of the performers of a feeling children's show. But more importantly than that, it's a game that not only encourages, but requires players to engage with the most grand and prestigious theatrical tradition known to man, puppetry. Asking you not just to imagine, but to break out the crafting supplies and create and breathe life into your very own puppet performer. Alright, sorry about that. You know, sometimes these things happen when you're making videos. Anyway, as I was saying, up next, The Devil's Doorbell. A game that puts you in the role of satanic missionaries, going out and doing the good work of corrupting and securing souls for your dark master. And as we all know, I am obviously quite in favor of spreading the dark gospel, especially through role-playing games, the most satanic form of entertainment. Also, this game uses the polymorph system, which, if you are unfamiliar, is a system primarily notable for each character being defined only by one single die. And I did cover a polymorph system game previously, so I will put a link to that wherever the links go, and you can watch that and see if you like the polymorph system. And now on to Warped FM, a game about hosting a podcast interviewing interdimensional creatures. And while the game is of course very conversational in nature, because it's about hosting a podcast, it is still very much a game, as the host and creature both have their own agendas during the interview, and as the game goes on, you can unlock pieces of a larger lore behind everything. Which is great because a lot of these more conversational and introspective type games do have a bad habit of losing sight of actually being games, and I tend to like games that are actually games. Also, it's weird, I know I've said this before, so I'll say it again, I like weird. And finally, Chronicles of the Finite State Machine, a cyberpunk survival game. Yeah, not overthrow the megacorp or deliver the important data that's going to save mankind, just survive for 30 days in a cyberpunk dystopia, which is an angle that I really like because it perhaps makes it quite a bit more obvious that the cyberpunk dystopia is bad, actually. A thing that modern cyberpunk media somehow seems to have lost sight of. I'm just kidding, I know it's because capitalism. And that's the really interesting thing here. It's putting you in a setting where you are probably used to being cast as the hero, but the only person it's asking you to save is yourself. And that's what I really like, the idea of a game that casts you as just a regular person in this larger world full of things that you cannot change and you just have to survive. And that is it for this week. 5 projects as always, and I will be back next week to look at some projects from week 2. Unless I don't do that. I probably will, but there's always a chance that I won't. Anyway, the important thing is, if you haven't already, which I assume you have, go back, The Goblin Guide to Advanced Dice Rolling. That's your homework. Okay, bye. And thank you for watching. If you enjoy the wacky things I say and do, you can follow me on Blue Sky and/or Tumblr. You can also join me live on Twitch, where sometimes things get a little weird. And extra special thanks to my Fightin' Flail Snails, Broken Unicorn, D-Stex, Hasterfan, Mix Woofers, Nikolai Snowtail, Puggo, Randy Mulholland, Renee D, Stephen Kramer, Teal Aglar, Toshiro Kuro, and Tyro the Fox. If you want to be cool like them, check out my Patreon or YouTube channel memberships. 2 different things that provide similar but distinct benefits. But if you don't want to do that, that's cool too. You can still hit all the lovely buttons, like, subscribe, these other videos that have mysteriously manifested from the ethers, which I am sure are lovely videos that you will also enjoy. And I will see you next time.